did it. 2022 revealed one core kernel about the whole manipulation that's going on today. It's helped me immensely. And here's what it is. Time. I believe that time has been weaponized, manipulated against us. Daylight savings time. Right. It's a effery of the mind. More accidents, heart attacks happen on that day. Trust me, the whole thing is a manipulation. Now, part of weaponizing time is making sure you're in reactionary mode. If everybody is working just to pay the bills, they're going to be in reactionary mode. And that's by design. But when you're able to basically have your own time freedom and use time the way it's supposed to be, truths start appearing right and left. You have the time to go into those truths, to basically delve into and become wiser through investigating those. Being able to even read a book is a huge part of the whole thing. But time manipulation, I'm starting to see, is also within the calendar itself. The whole calendar is made up. There's all these different kind of calendars you can follow. And although it's helpful to be able to have meetings with different people, in the end, the calendar itself is designed to compartmentalize time. Kind of like when you were a kid, right? The bell rang and you had to go to your next class. And this compartmentalized time down into, let's say, 50-minute increments. And instead of looking at output, like creating something, you're looking at the time spent. And this continues into the workplace. And one way to escape all that is by shifting from hourly time to entrepreneurial time, where you're looking at targets, you're looking at completing tasks and getting things done, rather than the time in seat. Because you can spend all the time you want throughout the day and get nothing done. Yet you could spend a couple hours and get more than someone else could get done in 8 hours. Time is elusive. One of the huge benefits of having time to research and understand things is that you're not relying upon sound bites from other people. When you're relying upon sound bites, what happens? You lose a bit of the wisdom because they've decided which parts to show you. When you're able to see the larger picture, go into things, grok things a bit more, kind of play with the ideas instead of just getting a sound bite and then using that in the next conversation you have with your friends, right? This allows you to have a bit of wisdom, to sit with the ideas and apply it to your life a bit more. A huge benefit of going deep within ideas is that it awakens your consciousness. Now, the definition of consciousness is here from Passio.
To recognize patterns and meaning with respect to events that are taking place or have taken place, okay, both within oneself, the realm of the individuated consciousness, and in the realm in which the self exists and operates, the macrocosm. And the events taking place is the truth. So it's our ability to accurately perceive truth of what has happened and what is happening. That's consciousness.
A huge benefit of awakening your consciousness is being able to see and recognize patterns. And then from those patterns, people like Breshears can see some of the conspiracies that are obviously out there.
They've had 166 years of free reign to conceal the truth and stage fake excavations that promote Egyptian origins lie. But enough evidence has surfaced that we can build a good picture of basically a technologically advanced civilization that did exist in that area of the world before there was ever an Egypt.
Following these patterns allows us to see and connect the dots to different truths. And we wouldn't get there if we didn't have the time to do that. It's really looking at the larger patterns and also our own individual patterns to break pattern, make decisions, and be free from some of our unconscious actions that take over each and every day. All this for me means that I'm intentionally using my consciousness to figure out what comes next and not just responding to stimuli. So then the real question becomes, how do you notice the patterns of truth versus the patterns that keep us going down a never-ending rabbit hole of content that leads basically nowhere? Think about it. It seems like conspiracy theories are always this never-ending loop of like, okay, do UFOs actually exist at all? That's a never-ending loop. Stuck on that loop, we never get anywhere else. Or trying to decide if the Earth is round or flat. How far are you going to go with that one, right? It's a loop that perpetuates itself. It's this constant need to prove one particular thing and never really getting to the next level. And the whole idea of trying to prove whether we went to the moon or not, okay, while these questions might be interesting, and you could spend all this time with it, in the end, it keeps us maintained at a certain level that we never really get past. And that, I think, is often by design. Because all our energy is spent on these particular conspiracies, we're missing the patterns of larger truths that could get us to the next level. So the real question is, what are those truths? The real problem is there are so many truths and rabbit holes to go down. It would engulf lifetimes without even blinking. So then it becomes like, well, what do you spend your time on? I think I found part of the answer. We really need to delve into the truths that affect us on an individual level. And that 2023 is going to be a rocking year. There's going to be some serious manipulation and tips and turns. But in the end, I think we'll have the grounding and traction to get to the next level. I truly believe simplicity is the key part of this whole thing. One of the ways to apply simplicity is through the idea of Occam's razor.
Why are you guys jumping to such ridiculous conclusions? Haven't you ever heard of Occam's razor? The simplest explanation is probably the correct one.
So what's the simplest explanation?
I don't know. Maybe they're all reverse vampires and they have to get home before dark.
By applying simplicity, more often than not, I feel like my life becomes a lot clearer. Just getting rid of things and making what I do simple, getting down to the core components of things and ignoring the rest. It's hard to do because there's a lot of new ideas or new shiny objects. But in the end, I think that simplicity might uncover more truths and patterns. And by applying it to our own lives, we actually help the greater collective. Now, of course, it's hard to stick with ideas. One thing I found is through the idea of the 12-week year.
The authors have found that most businesses make 40% of the progress towards their annual goals in the last quarter. But during a 12-week year, there's a constant sense of urgency. With a bit of online research, you can find a proven plan for almost any goal. The key is to take whatever blueprint you find and write down a few critical actions that you must take each week that, if not performed, will make it impossible to reach your 12-week goal. Don't focus on your weekly results. Instead, focus on your weekly execution score.
And this is really kind of revolutionary in a way. And I think it helps regardless on if you have time freedom or not. This kind of gets into the idea of targets over goals. And I think that can be applied to basically looking at some of the conspiracies and connecting the dots. Instead of going through these larger conspiracies, looking at the ones that really impact your life the most. And using the 12-week year to basically define these different targets and targeting different research and getting to what you can consider truth. If we do this during 2023 and we start to kind of peel back the onion of what they're trying to hide for real, I think a number of us might get to the next level. And in the process, pull the rest of us up with them. So I hope that's inspiring. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching. And I'll see you next time. Be sure to subscribe because I've got some cool videos coming next. I've been noodling around with some different ideas and really getting at how to deliver them in a way that's fun. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next video.